Hey, Pastor Josh here again. We're reading Jeremiah chapter 40, verses 1 through 16. Jeremiah remains in Judah. Remember, the city of Jerusalem has just fallen, and we are now looking at what happens after the city of Jerusalem falls. It's not that everybody gets taken into exile. There are some that are left behind. Jeremiah will turn out to be one of those. And a few other things happen. So let's jump into seeing what happens post fall of Jerusalem in 586 BC. Good number to memorize and have in your head. The word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord after Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, had let him go from Ramah. And so this phrase right here, the word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord, as we read chapter 40, we're not going to see that there's actually any sort of word or oracle that comes to Jeremiah that he's going to be speaking until about 42, chapter 42. And so more than likely, this is kind of like a section header like we would have saw at the beginning of the book. And so this is sectioning off a new phase of Jeremiah's ministry. It's been leading up to this fall of Babylon. It has now happened, and now we're going to see that Jeremiah's ministry doesn't just end because Jerusalem has fallen. He still has a ministry to do after Jerusalem falls. And so this now is a new section of the book post the fall of Jerusalem. If you remember, Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, took him bound in chains with all the captives of Jerusalem and Judah who were being exiled to Babylon. If you remember, Nebuchadnezzar said, hey, do with him what he wants you to do. Don't do anything bad to him. And this is going to give us a little bit more of that conversation that happened between Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, the captain, leader of the soldiers, and Jeremiah. So the captain of the guard took Jeremiah and said to him, the Lord your God pronounced this disaster against the place. It's amazing that the foreigners, the non-Jews, the people that are not a part of God's people, are the ones that are more accepting of the Lord's message. Perhaps that might be because it was favorable toward them, but they're the ones accepting it and not the Israelites. The Lord has brought it about and has done as he said. A good example to follow, even if it's from the lips of somebody that does not love the Lord. He recognizes that God has brought it about, and he has done as he said. He is submissive unto the great God of the universe. And he doesn't really totally realize what he's saying, but it would be a good example for us to follow, that God is going to do as he says. We should take him at his word. Because you sinned against the Lord and did not obey his voice, this thing has come upon you. So this is your all's fault. If you all would have listened to God, then this would have not happened. Now behold, I release you today from the chains on your hands. If it seems good to you to come with me to Babylon, come. Come with me to Babylon. And I do find it interesting that Jeremiah does not end up going with him to Babylon, because he's told everybody else to go to Babylon, but he actually doesn't. He actually stays there in Jerusalem. If it seems good to you, come with me to Babylon. Come, and I will look after you well. But if it seems wrong to you to come with me to Babylon, do not come. Just giving Jeremiah a lot of freedom to choose what he wants to do, because they realize the power of his words. God has been speaking through him, and he has actually been pretty favorable toward the Babylonians coming in. See, the whole land is before you. Go wherever you think it good and right to go. If you remain, then return to Gedaliah, the son of Ahikam. Gedaliah is going to be the governor of Jerusalem. He's going to be leading and ruling over the area now. He's not going to be a king. He's going to be expressly under the chain of command of Babylon. He's going to be called a governor, not a king. So Gedaliah is the one going to be in charge, son of Shaphan, whom the king of Babylon appointed governor of the cities of Judah, and dwell with him among the people. So, if you're going to stay, make sure you hang out with Gedaliah, or go wherever you think it right to go. Again, giving Jeremiah a lot of freedom to go. Can't help but think he might subtly be saying, hey, this is what you should be doing if you're going to stay here, but he is giving him freedom to go wherever he thinks it's right to go. So the captain of the guard gave him an allowance of food, gave him some food, gave him a present, and let him go. Jeremiah is released. If you remember, he's been in prison for a while, even while the Babylonians were surrounding the city, and now he is free. And then Jeremiah chose to go, went to Gedaliah the son of Ahikam at Mizpah, and lived there, and lived with him among the people who were left in the land, not at Jerusalem, because Jerusalem has pretty much been burned with fire. When all the captains of the forces in the open country and their men heard that the king of Babylon had appointed Gedaliah the son of Ahikam governor of the land, and had committed to him men, women, and children, and those of the poorest of the land, who had not been taken into exile to Babylon, they went to Gedaliah at Mizpah. So the captains of the forces, so these are leaders. These have been military leaders within the Israelite community, within the Judean community and the people, but they have actually somehow got out of Jerusalem before the siege happened, or perhaps they were part of other forces that were fighting in other places in the Judean area. But these captains, these leaders, okay, I've heard Nebuchadnezzar has made Gedaliah the governor, so we're going to come to him. And there's two important names that we have. There's other names that are said, but the two important ones that we need to keep in mind here is Ishmael, the son of Nethaniah, and Johanan, the son of Kareah. I have no idea if I'm saying that right, but Ishmael, the son of Nethaniah, and Johanan, the son of Kareah. So Ishmael and Johanan are the two names that we need to keep in mind. They are two of these leaders that were out in the country that were not inside the city when it fell, but there's also Sariah and the sons of Ephiah. It's amazing how many additional names we've now have come to toward the end of Jeremiah. Jezaniah, they and their men. So you got these leaders coming to Gedaliah, almost to get their orders, to make an alliance with him, to make sure that they're working together. Gedaliah, the son of Ahikam, son of Shaphan, swore to them and their men, saying, "Do not be afraid to serve the Chaldeans." Don't be afraid to do it. Gedaliah is saying exactly what Jeremiah has says. Don't be afraid to serve the Chaldeans. This is what we're supposed to do. Dwell in the land and serve the king of Babylon. Here's a command to follow. Obviously, this is not a command for us. This was a command for the people of God at this time. They were supposed to go into exile, dwell in the land, and serve the king of Babylon. But I wonder for us what our command is. What kind of unhelpful, difficult circumstance do you find yourself in, and that you're kind of really resistant at? You're kind of upset that you're in that spot. We should be dwelling in that land of tribulation, that land of problems, and we should be serving that evil king, whatever that circumstance may be, trying to make the best of it. Dwell in the land and serve the king of Babylon. So we should be making the best of our situations and trying to serve the Lord by serving perhaps the people that are around us, working in the terrible situation that we might find ourselves in. And Jeremiah said, Gedaliah says, "And it will be well with you." That's the exact same words that Jeremiah has been saying. Serve the Chaldeans, surrender to Babylon, and it'll all be fine for you. That's where you need to go. As for me, I will dwell at Mizpah to represent you before the Chaldeans who will come to us. So you all go out, dwell in the land, do what he tells you to do. I'll be here at Mizpah, and this will be the capital city, essentially. And I'll represent you to the Chaldeans. Everything will be great. But as for you, gather wine and summer fruits and oil, and store them in your vessels, and dwell in your cities that you have taken. Take care of the land. Put up rations for yourself. Make sure you have enough soda pop and chips, whatever. Just get these things together and, dwell and live in the land that you have. Likewise, when all the Judeans who were in Moab and among the Ammonites and in Edom and in other lands heard that the king of Babylon had left a remnant in Judah and had appointed Gedaliah, the son of Ahikam, son of Shaphan, as governor over them, then all the Judeans returned from all the places to which they had been driven and came to the land of Judah. So we have the captain of the guards, or captain of the forces that were in the open country have come to Gedaliah, and then now we see that the Judeans who were in Moab, the Ammonites, the Edomites, these were in other countries, so they've went into foreign countries. They weren't just in the places of Judea and the other cities outside Jerusalem. These had actually taken refuge in other countries. And when they heard, okay, Gedaliah is the governor, Babylon has seemed to put him in charge, seems like all the war and stuff is over, we're going to go back to our home. And so they returned to the land of Judah to Gedaliah at Mizpah, and they gathered wine and summer fruits in great abundance. You see, the Lord is providing them things. Remember, sustenance, things that are good and helpful. Right beforehand, they were running out of bread. They were eating each other. Now they have wine and summer fruits in great abundance. Now things are going to turn south real quick here, because it appears that everybody's gathering to Gedaliah. Everybody's supportive of Gedaliah, but that's actually not the case. Now Johanan, remember, that's one of those captain of the guards that were, or captain of the forces that were out in the open country. And all the leaders of the forces in the open country came to Gedaliah at Mizpah and said to him, "Do you know that Baalis, the king of the Ammonites, has sent Ishmael, the son of Nethaniah, to take your life?" So Johanan's like, "Ishmael? You remember Ishmael, who came to you a little bit ago with me and others? He is actually on a mission to kill you, to assassinate you." And I think this is a good example to follow. He's being forthright to his leader. He's letting him know of the danger that's around, and trying to let him know. And I think it would be wise for us to let people around us know that when trouble is coming, we should tell them. But Gedaliah, the son of Ahikam, would not believe them. Then Johanan, the son of Kara, spoke secretly to Gedaliah at Mizpah. "Please, let me go and strike down Ishmael, the son of Nethaniah, and no one will know it. Please, let me kill him. Before he assassinates you, let me assassinate him." And I wonder if that's not, if that would not be a sin, because Jesus tells us to turn the other cheek, right? So the ways that we even interact with our enemies is not kind of the traditional way that a lot of people would think that we should deal with our enemies. And so I just wonder if this would be inaccurate advice. Now it seems like Gedaliah is playing the fool, if you will. He's not researching this or trying to figure out or doing anything wise. He just basically says, "Nah, surely not." That he's not doing it. And then Johanan saying, "Hey, let me go take care of him. Why should he take your life, so that all the Judeans who are gathered about you would be scattered, and the remnant of Judah would perish?" But Gedaliah, the son of Ahikam, said to Johanan, the son of Kara, "You shall not do this thing, for you speaking falsely of Ishmael." And I think this is a bit of foolishness. This is a bit of unwisdom. We see that the ruler now of the people of Judah is not wise. This is not like King David. This is not like Solomon. This is not like the wisdom that is supposed to be coming from the law of Moses. You would think that he would at least investigate this, come up with some way to figure it out, but he just says, "No, you're speaking falsely of Ishmael." I hope that has been helpful to you. We're going to continue to find out what happens after the fall of Jerusalem, and I will see you in the next video.